So on your left hand side is the continental drift theory given by Alfred Wegener, and on your right hand side is the post-drift studies which were done by various scientists, just to prove the point that there are reasons much more beyond what Wegener suggests. The continental drift theory talks about the matching of continents. Wegener said if you look at South America and Africa, they look like a jigsaw puzzle fit when brought closer. Which is true that once upon a time both land masses were together, but the reason behind that is much more deeper than just merely looking at the world map and saying they were once together. The second point in continental drift theory talks about the fact that rocks from different continents were of the same age, and this point made Wegener believe that the land masses were once together and they slowly drifted away. Again, the reason behind the drifting is much deeper than just looking at rocks and saying they all are same. The third point in continental drift theory talks about tillite formation. The Gondwana land consists of 6 land masses. They are India, Africa, Madagascar, Australia, Antarctica, and Falkland Islands. Under the base of these 6 land masses, tillite sediments were found. So that made Wegener think that okay, these 6 land masses were once together and now they are apart. So this is a pretty good observation. However, the reason is much bigger and in depth rather than observing tillites. The fourth point in continental drift theory talks about placer deposits. They are deposits of rich minerals like gold, diamonds, etc. So if you look at the coast of Ghana and then coast of Brazil, you'll see that these placer deposits looks like vein that were once joined together. This point again made Wegener believe that Africa and South America was once a single landmass. And the last point in continental drift theory talks about distribution of fossils. When identical species of plants and animals were found on land masses, it made Wegener strongly believe that once upon a time there was only a single landmass, and with time it started splitting into different continents. So these were the evidences of Alfred Wegener that made him come up with the continental drift theory. Now coming to the right hand side, that is the post-drift studies. After the World War II, many discoveries were made which added new information. Scientists started arguing the fact that Alfred Wegener only looked at evidences that were collected from the continental areas, which is true. If you look at the left hand side, all these evidences were taken by simply looking at the land masses. So in the post-drift studies, the scientists felt, hey, why don't we do some comprehensive study by mapping the ocean floor? And that led to the convectional current theory, where Arthur Holmes said it is because of the magma present in the mantle which is causing the ocean floor to expand. Since the oceanic crust is thinner than the continental crust, therefore it is easy for the magma to come out from the ocean bed, and that's why the mid-oceanic ridges give a solid proof about this theory. And the second point in post-drift theory is the mapping of ocean floor. When the ocean floor was being mapped, scientists saw that ocean bed is not a flat piece of land. It has similar terrain, uneven surface, just like we have on land. This was an astonishing finding. And then they also went on to find mid-oceanic ridges on the ocean bed, which are these long range of mountains that were formed due to the rocks that came out of the mantle in the form of magma. And when scientists took samples of rock from the mid-oceanic ridges as well as from the continental side, they found that the rocks from the mid-oceanic ridge were comparatively younger in age. Hence, they concluded as we move away from the mid-oceanic ridges, the age of the rocks increases. So this was the post-drift studies, which totally focused on the concept of sea floor spreading. That is, the ocean floor gets pushed to the opposite side due to volcanic eruptions at the crest and making the sea floor spread, and it was presented by Harry Hess in 1961. Whereas the continental drift theory by Alfred Wegener focused on the argument that all the continents were once upon a time a single continental mass named Pangaea. And then this single continental mass began to split into smaller ones, and that's how the world looks today. Hold on, we are not done yet. Now we have a third concept, which brings us to the topic plate tectonics. Now this is the third concept that tries to answer the questions related to distribution of oceans and continents. The concept of plate tectonics was presented by Mackenzie, Parker, and Morgan, 3 people in 1967. Just after 6 years of Hess's sea floor spreading theory. So what the plate tectonic concepts say is the lithosphere, which is also the combination of crust and upper mantle, it is in the form of irregular slab of solid rock. So think of the lithosphere as a large plate, and now when a plate breaks, this is exactly what it looks like. When we say irregular slab of solid rock, this is what the plate tectonics concept is suggesting. So we know that lithosphere consists of crust and upper mantle, and the crust is both continental as well as oceanic in nature. The oceanic crust is thinner than continental, but in general it is one complete crust. Hence the lithosphere covers both ocean as well as land. And now when we think of a plate, we can easily relate that a plate consists of land as well as ocean. Doesn't matter which of the two occupy a larger portion of the plate. Now let's look at the world map. According to this new concept, which is plate tectonics, our entire Earth's surface is divided into 7 major and some minor plates. Now the reason this plate tectonic theory is so interesting is because it makes a very important argument that continents do not move. In fact, continents are part of these plates, and it is the plates that has been moving throughout the history of Earth. And it will continue to do so in the future as well. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. So if you remember, Alfred Wegener said that initially everything was one single landmass named as Pangaea, but according to new discoveries, it is now believed that Pangaea existed due to the convergent mechanism of plates on which continents reside. Convergent means coming closer. So these are the three theories that shaped our thinking and understanding about the distribution of oceans and continents. If you want to see more of such educational content, make sure you're subscribed. By doing so, you'll get an alert when my next video comes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.